Here's our top story.
KTAR News, 92.3 FM, Arizona's news station.
As the Russian onslaught of Ukraine continues, let's see if our friend Pat Shearer is in a position to talk. We hear you're transporting Ukrainian Special Forces soldiers now, and it occurred happenstance. Can you please tell us that story?
I spotted a couple soldiers that were on the side of the road, pulled over, and one of them just finished a phone conversation. I asked them if they needed a ride, and one of them said that his unit was coming to pick him up, but the other one asked me if I was eavesdropping on his phone call because he had just been told by his unit they weren't able to send anybody, and he had no idea how he was going to get there for a 5-hour drive. And
wow!
So I told him, hop in and let's go.
What was that ride like? Were you able to talk to each other pretty well?
Yeah, amazingly, he spoke very good English, and he told me he was an officer with their special forces, and we had a 5-long conversation that did nothing but reinforce my belief in the people here of Ukraine, and also the fact that there is no way Ukraine is going to lose. This they're going to keep their freedom. They're going to fight to the end, and I have I have all the faith in the world.
Wow. That's quite a statement, Pat, especially being a veteran yourself and having, stood at Checkpoint Charlie across from former Soviet soldiers and whatnot. You think Ukraine is going to be victorious in this?
Absolutely. Don't bet on the bear. That's for sure.
Hey, Pat, you were in Lviv last year. And then you have been into Lviv at least once since you've been over there in the past couple of weeks. We understand that city is really coming under attack this morning. What are you seeing and hearing? I know you just arrived in the city, right?
Yeah, actually, Lviv is kind of my hub now. So I do have a place that I'm staying here. So I've been running most of the stuff out of here. But it seems like every time I leave, they bomb the place. Or near it. And from my understanding, it was a group of missiles they shot from the Black Sea over and were targeting airport area. My understanding they shot down, the Ukrainians were able to shoot down 2 of the 6 missiles. So I'm assuming 4 hit. Nothing in the city that I've seen so far coming in and going around, I haven't seen anything hit, and it looks like business as usual as far as people are concerned.
It might be
a lot more military presence for sure, as far as checkpoints, fighting positions, things like that. It's definitely gearing up here in case something happens.
Huh. We hear they might be attacking the airport as they've done before. We're talking with Pat Shearer, who is a retired Peoria police officer, an Army veteran, lives in Strawberry, Arizona. He's been over in Ukraine the last couple of weeks trying to help refugees, just driving Ukrainian soldiers around. We talked to Senator Mark Kelly earlier this week, and he told us the only way that we, the Americans, engage Russia directly is by an incursion on their part into a NATO country, which, of course, there's 2 to your west there. You got Poland and Slovakia. Based on what you've seen, how likely do you feel it is that Russia will take the step of attacking even a weapons transporting convoy still on the other side of the Ukrainian border in Poland or Slovakia?
Okay, as far as on the other side of the border?
Yeah. Would Russia ever go that far, trying to stop weapons from coming into Ukraine, that they'd take that step and cross that line into a NATO country with something?
Yeah, and obviously this is just my opinion. I think there's no way that they're going to take that step, especially right now. They are, in my opinion, they're sinking, and I think that would be a step that would just be a devastating blow for them and the world, obviously. But I don't see that happening. I see us holding the line here in Ukraine, and I think the rest of the world should be thankful for everything these people are doing here.
Pat, are you running into other Americans there doing what you're doing?
Not necessarily doing what I'm doing, but I have run into a couple of Americans. Didn't get to speak to them a whole lot, but the ones I did run into were actually volunteering for fighting. But I've run into people from so many different countries, Scotland, places like that, and everybody just seems to be really networking well. I don't know how much detail I should be giving, but ran into a group of basically that are going to be, you have your regular military, then you have I call them home guard, which is your retired military or your, military experience type people. But then you also have your resistance that is starting to grow. And those are the people that are willing to be fighting, building to building, and just your civilians who are not going to leave.
Wow. Pat, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
We'll try and serve you several steak dinners when you get back to the, the States here, please.
Hey, I just have one quick question. If you had to guess, how many refugees would you say you have transported to safety since you've been there?
Now I'm probably around 200 or so. I've taken on a couple other type of special projects too, that, I've kind of like take on anything that, like, if somebody needs something done right now, or somebody needs to get someplace right now, that kind of thing. So I've done a little bit of that, which slowed me down a bit, but I'm guessing at least 200.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Pat. Be safe.
Yes.
But as it was pointed out to me when I was a combat journalist in Iraq, I went to a war zone without a gun. So be safe, my friend. All right. That's Pat Shearer, retired Peoria police officer, an Army veteran who's spent some time in Ukraine.
He told me a couple of days ago somebody wanted him to go rescue his horse, and he was considering it because he thought that might be his only means of escape.
I
don't know
this
if
guy.
he'd be able to put it in his car, though.
I can't wait to meet this big bear of a man in person. Just give him a big hug.